Thanks everyone for coming. This is the Affordable Housing Commission of Old Lyme special meeting, Thursday, November 11th, 2021 at 5 p.m. In attendance, we have Bill Belluzzi, Karen Winters, Jen Miller, Amy Hosier, and George Clough. So we have thanks for coming in on short notice. We have a very brief agenda tonight. I'll just jump into the first one, which is the letter of support for the Open Space Commission's application for a state grant to help fund the proposed Ames acquisition. The background here is that Amanda and Evan Griswold and Greg Fatoma reached out to me last week and asked if we would be willing to submit a letter of support based on the scoring rubric for the grant. They can maybe catch a couple of points if endorsement comes from the affordable housing folks, which is us.
Why would they choose affordable housing to get extra points for that? Michael, do you know?
I don't, but I can tell you this: I'm seeing it getting infused into just about everything that the state is doing.
Why would so what value is it for our recommendation or not our recommendation? We don't have any clout.
No, it's as you saw in the letter, it's citing the relationship with them to develop affordable housing on the McCulloch property. So it's basically a nod to say that it's on their radar screen. It may or may not make a difference, but I didn't think it would be a bad thing to provide them with support for the grant.
I think maybe what.
Go ahead, George.
It was Bill. I think it's basic. That's right. I think if it is the case that it might increase the rubric a little bit, I think it's probably just in keeping with the state, because this is for a state grant, right? With the state's commitment to affordable housing in general, and so any grants that might in any way be related to or could be related, and that would indicate a good working relationship between open space and, in this case, open space, because that's what the grant is. But I guess anything and affordable housing. Because everything you're reading it's just like really very much on the front burner of everything in Connecticut, right?
Yeah, and I think I read the rubric and it wasn't very specific, so I took the approach of noting that we were collaborating together and had a shared vision of the future where more projects like the McCulloch property could happen in the future. So it's not applicable to the current acquisition, the Ames acquisition directly, but gave a nod to the existing collaboration we have into the future.
Do you entertain a motion?
I will.
So I move that the letter before us be drafted on behalf of the Affordable Housing Commission and forwarded in support of the grant for open space.
Thanks, Bill. Is there a second?
Aye.
Amy,
oh, I can't.
No, but actually we're short, so I will seat you as a voting member if there's no objection from anyone else.
No objection.
In that case, second away, Amy.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I still don't understand why. I just feel like it could be a slippery slope. I'm not sure why they would choose us as opposed to planning or zoning or land, or maybe they already have approached all of those. I just feel like, and open space has certainly been very helpful and generous to us. I just feel like they're two separate entities, and it could be non-supported by some people in our town, whereas other organizations would be supported. I just don't know why we would get engaged in this.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll give you two responses to that. And that is the rubric is very specific about affordable housing.
I wonder why.
And we are, the affordable housing, my interpretation, I haven't seen this in writing, but my interpretation is that you keep seeing it come up in just about everything the state is doing now. They're really putting on a full court press to increase affordable housing in the state. So it's finding its way into grant applications, and it's finding its way into budgets, and it's finding its way into legislation.
I understand that, but what does this open space piece on Whippoorwill have to do with affordable housing?
Correct.
So,
This particular piece does not.
right, I understand that. That's why I asked you if there was an opportunity for us to get a piece of that. But if there's not, Michael, I'm not sure why we would have an opinion.
Here's why, Karen. This is my take, and I'll open it up for other folks. And that is, I would envision that our relationship with open space and with planning and with zoning and with economic development and our other commissions and boards that have an opportunity to affect or be affected by affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the charge to our commission is to be the networker for matters related to affordable housing. And I would hope that our relationship with the other boards and commissions that do have an opportunity to influence affordable housing, particularly in a positive way, we would have a strategic relationship with them and not a strictly transactional relationship where it was, you do this, I do that. So I tried to write that into the letter specifically, is that we have a vision of the future where this can happen more. And that instead of open space and affordable housing being competitive in any way, that it would actually be collaborative. And I think that's on target for our charge on the Affordable Housing Commission.
I think that's Michael's right. RiverCog does sort of infuse affordable housing into all these issues. I was trying to look it up quickly, but I think if you go to RiverCog, you can see that reflected.
Well, I think to Karen's point that so it's nice to infuse affordable housing into every single conversation that the entire state has about anything to do with the budget. However, so do we need to pick and choose our battles? Is this like kind of watering it down, or are we as a commission for Old Lyme, focused on Old Lyme as a commission, are we going to acquiesce to every single thing that every other commission in Old Lyme then suggests that we do? So is this a tit for tat as far as the McCulloch property goes, or is this something that then the zoning board can expect that we'll just say yes to for anything else? So I'm kind of questioning with Karen the same aspects of this where it's nice, we can get on board with this. I don't really have a strong objection one way or the other to the proposal or their recommendation, but I just want to be clear that we have certain standards or certain principles that we're not going to just say that this is good for everybody and this is what we're going to do all the time. So I don't know. I don't want to set a precedent that this is what the commission says, just because we're inserted into the conversation all the time now. State of Connecticut inserts it into the conversation all the time, or the federal government inserts it into the conversation all the time now, that we acquiesce to everything. We have to have some certain standards going forward.
I hear you on that, Jen, but two things. I don't see it as any form of acquiescence. We have we have a partnership with Open Space, and I think it's going to be maybe not a major part of our strategy going forward, but I expect it'll be an opportunistic part of our strategy going forward. So if there's an ability to do that, we will in the future. And we are working on a project right now on a collaborative basis. So, and the other part of it is what we're doing is supporting state money coming back to the town, which even if it's not going to be, again, transactionally help increase affordable housing with this particular project that the grant is being applied for, it's going to release future money. It's going to be money that either the taxpayers or the reserve on open space don't spend, and could be directed to projects that would include affordable housing in the future. So again, I would advocate for a long strategic view of this and not a transactional one.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just, I'm just wanting to get it out there that, so again, I think just make the point noted that, that this is perhaps a one-off situation and not just a government mandated, affordable housing, check the box. We ran it by affordable housing, so now it's okay.
Yeah.
So a couple of thoughts, though. I think one is that I think the reason it's in the rubric, and it's kind of like to Michael's point, but to make certain that affordable housing gets its due and that it's not that we aren't competing. In other words, let's just say we had our eyes on this property in some way as something that we were looking into affordable housing for. I think that when they're looking for a collaboration, they're saying we're looking for places where they're not going to be in competition with one another for the same land. Now, if that were to be the case, so that's number one. I think that's why it exists in the rubric. I know it's a hot topic, but I think specifically because we're talking about acquiring space. Basically, both commissions might be in the business of acquiring space, and to not see that as competition, at least in this instance. And the second thing is, I really don't see it as precedent setting. I think it's saying that in this, we think that we have a cooperative relationship, and we want to write in support of that. And should there be something that we're asked to do that doesn't fit the bill, I think it behooves us to say, no, we can't write that support. Nor would it mean that everything that Open Space asked us to write, if there was something really objectionable, I don't think because we write this letter that we are bound to anything.
Yep, that's a good point.
I also believe, though, that that there may be a perception issue, and there's people in this town that may not be supportive, and these aren't our personal views. None of this is my personal view, that don't support the acquisition of land because their taxes are going to go up, or whatever the case. So if we align ourselves with this, then we risk that image to the public.
Okay, let me just comment quickly, and we'll discuss it. But the letter is in support of the grant.
Correct.
Not the acquisition. The grant still has to go before the people.
Right, but I can also see this, though, Michael, really, I can see this as, well, affordable housing supports us, and this supports us, and that supports us. So when they go to the townspeople, then all of a sudden we're aligned with open space, and I find that a very slippery slope. It's not my personal opinion, it's about our commission.
Hey, Michael, can I make a statement? Kind of goes back to something we talked about kind of after one of our meetings many months ago, that my feeling was that in terms of coordinating our look at what we're doing as an Affordable Housing Commission, we might, as has been suggested, come into conflict with some of what other commissions are attempting to do in town. Not that we don't support them, but that maybe what we're asking is if we're looking for affordable housing let's say, physical space in town, and open space is committing to acquisitions that diminish the amount of open space, or, excuse me, some physical space that can be developed for affordable housing, aren't we in some form of conflict? And if we support open space, I think what Karen is trying to say in another way that I've said it and expressed it is, we can't always be on the same side of all of these commissions because we have different purposes. And the purposes of our commission is to try to look for opportunities to develop affordable housing, not necessarily support always open space acquisition. And again, I don't know that that's the slippery slope that Karen's talking about, but I think it's what I was talking to you about, is that sometimes we're going to come in conflict with these other commissions.
Well said, George. I would maybe not use the word conflict. I might use competition. And I would also say that it's incumbent on us, along with the other boards and commissions, to, when this happens, is to work together to do the best thing for the town and not pick winners and losers. And sometimes through a process of collaboration, I could envision that it would come down, if there was some competition or some bidding that was going on, or some strategy that was aiming for the same place from open space and affordable housing, we'd have to talk it out. And that's our job as leaders in the town, to get that done. And it's not always going to break one way or the other, but it's very important to have the conversation open and not just, again, this is my opinion, not have a score sheet.
Yeah, I think that's right. So I think everybody makes very good points, but I would say there's still nothing standing in our way for approving what's before us. So I would still go ahead, and if we're going to vote on it, go for it.
Okay. Was that, you looking to move the question, Jen?
Yeah, so should we move to a vote?
Okay. If there are no other discussion points, I think we can. And I just want to thank everybody for your thoughts. And part of it is, I'm not surprised that we had this discussion. That's exactly why I thought it was important that we have a special meeting and talk it out with all of us before anything just happened. So thanks for the thoughtfulness on this. So if there's no further discussion, I will call the question. And Bill?
Aye.
Karen?
No.
Jen?
Aye.
And Amy?
Aye.
Okay. The ayes have it. And the motion to provide the Open Space Commission with the letter as drafted is approved. And again, thanks. These were good questions, and it's a good discussion, and we'll have it again. And I'll just reiterate that I don't see this as a precedent, as precedent setting, that anytime there's a request for this, we just do it. And I will commit to the commission that at least while I'm chair, I will not regard it that way, and I will always bring it up before us to discuss and not make any assumptions.
That's fair.
So. Okay. Which brings us to agenda item number 3, upcoming meetings. Got a note from Town Hall that it's time to book our 2022 meeting schedule. and reserve rooms and such. I sent a quick note out that had an error in it. Our current meetings are the third Wednesday of the month, not the second Wednesday of the month. And I'm proposing that we, for 2022, go to a Thursday, second or third Thursday of the month schedule. And the reason for that is really a practical one, in that FOI requires that minutes get filed 48 hours after the meeting, which if it's for a Wednesday meeting, puts it on Friday evening. And if it's Thursday, that kicks it out to Monday and gives us a little more time to get the filing done. So with that, let me just open it. I don't think we need necessarily to vote on this. We can go by consensus, but I'll just open it to any discussion, particularly if this is going to inconvenience anyone.
It's fine.
Jen, is this good?
It's good for me. I just have, I am in New York every Thursday. So I may be in the car traveling back, for some part of that meeting, especially if it starts earlier at 5. But that's okay with me.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little, and Bill, you said you had a possible conflict too?
I have a standing meeting at 7 o'clock on Thursday nights. As I said, even if I were late for the meeting once a month, I could deal with that. Obviously, yeah, so I could do it. It's not ideal, but it's doable for me.
Okay. Look, I don't want
Especially
the minute convenience to override people being able to attend and participate. That's
Well, I'll clarify, Michael, just for me is, I can leave earlier. I just need to get a certain amount of hours in New York on Thursdays. So, so I could leave earlier and I can be back earlier. So, if we're having a physical meeting at 5 o'clock, I may be a little bit late for some of those, but I definitely will be able to call in, no problem. It's just a commutability time right there.
would Friday be better? Go ahead, Karen. I'm sorry.
No, no.
That's okay. I was just wondering if you think there's opportunity that we'll go back to the town hall. I mean, what is the plan? Because 5 o'clock, Jen, you got a great point. 5 o'clock via phone or 5 o'clock in the town hall makes a difference.
Yeah, and I thought about that, Karen, and I think given where we are in the planning process, we're gonna be wanting to hold some public forums and some public hearings. So yeah, I think we're gonna want to at least have the option to go to town hall and have the meeting hall so we can get people in there and not go upstairs into the little mezzanine room where, you know, we fill it up, just us.
Right.
So that was why I popped it on this agenda, so that we could put dibs in on the meeting hall, particularly for the first 6 months of next year, when we're likely to have public engagement going on.
How does everyone else feel? I mean, I can make it work, and I can
let me float Tuesdays.
So what about everybody else?
I'm fine with Tuesdays.
I'm fine, but Jen, if you're doing this in the car on 95,
Yeah,
rush hour.
Jen, I really appreciate your extending yourself that way, but I can't say I'm 100% comfortable with that.
It's all good.
But Tuesday doesn't really, and I think it's not ideal to be in the car doing the meeting, but Tuesdays doesn't help you with the minutes, does it?
It does, because it's due on a Thursday and not a Friday.
What about space if we end up back at the town hall? Do you know where they're at with that, Michael?
I don't.
So that's something to consider too.
Well, we could just put dibs in. I mean, worst case is, I mean, I can always just file a record of votes on a Friday too, but then I'm also trying to be kind to the town clerks and not have to do two submissions, a record of votes on Friday and then follow up 2 weeks later with the full minutes. So I'm just trying to be thoughtful about the folks at town hall and how many documents they have to handle too.
Are Mondays no good?
So Tuesdays, back to the Tuesdays, 5 o'clock is not good for me on a Tuesday.
Okay, I remember that now, Bill. Thanks for reminding me.
No, on it.
Mondays are fine, Wednesdays are fine. I could make Thursdays work. I'd prefer not to do Friday.
I agree.
Yeah, no, honestly, Michael, I'm fine. I'm fine with Thursdays. I can make it work. All I do is leave a little bit earlier and get back a little bit earlier. So that's fine. It's not a problem. I really my time in car coming back would be very, very limited to like maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. So that's
Okay.
fine.
So what I haven't done is actually asked to see if any of the rooms are available on
A different
a
day.
Thursday.
So we currently have the third Wednesday in the meeting hall. So why don't I do this? I'll give Michelle a call and see if there is any opportunity to move the meeting. And if not, I'm happy to just keep it on the third Wednesday and go with what we got.
At 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock?
How's 5?
5 is better for me.
Okay.
Keeping it on Wednesday, even 5 o'clock?
Third Wednesday, 5 o'clock. So same schedule, just push it back an hour.
The 5 o'clock is better, actually.
If they, and if there's room, Michael, and you want to change the date, I think it's worthy of a discussion for all of us because your time is valuable and to try to make it work for you too is also important.
I appreciate that
Yeah.
very much, but it's not a huge deal. I'm really in like 4th degree optimization here, so I'm not concerned about it. Okay, continuing on, meetings. Next Wednesday, the 17th, 5 p.m., we're going to do the same thing as we did last month with a stacked special meeting at 5 that will adjourn at 6 and reconvene as the monthly regular meeting. And the agenda for the special meeting at 5 will be more of an open planning discussion, just as the single agenda item. And then at 6, we'll convene the regular meeting and do our normal monthly housekeeping reports out from ongoing work and anything else that come up in the meantime, correspondence and public comment.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And I've done a little work on some of the materials we had last time. I'll send that out. I'll probably take advantage of the rainy day tomorrow to do one more pass at them. And Jen and I are going to have a quick chat. I know you have some stuff, Jen, and I'll package that up and send it out probably Sunday or Monday, if that's okay.
Good to me.
Okay. We don't have the latitude to do anything that's not on the agenda because this is a special meeting. So if that's it, if there's no further discussion on upcoming meetings, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn with my thanks to all of you for joining. Okay, Karen, I saw there's a second.
Second.
Yeah, second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate this.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, all. Good night.
Bye-bye.